Hey, what's going on, guys? Devin here with Backcountry Exposure. Welcome back to the garage. I feel like it's been a few videos since I've been here in my gear corner, but we're gonna do a fly fishing backcountry gear loadout today because I put a question out there on the community tab, and quite unanimously, you guys wanted to see a fly fishing specific backpacking gear loadout. So that's what we're gonna cover today. The pack, which you are very familiar with at this point, if you follow the channel and have paid attention, this is the Waymark Gear Light, which is a 50-liter X-Pack. Just beautiful, beautiful pack. I really love this, and I'm gonna be doing a review on this pack soon because I've had a lot of time with it since I first picked it up in October of last year. Let's unload everything on the outside of the pack first, and then we'll dive into the meat. Some of these things are specific to being somebody that films videos for YouTube, so I've got some camera gear and stuff here, but let's dig into it. Here on the side pockets, the first thing I'll show you is I picked up this really cool little 28-inch, very lightweight, weighs about a pound, carbon fiber tripod, and this has been awesome so far in the backcountry, and that's item number one. For those that are curious as I'm going through this pack loadout is 28 pounds with food and water, everything that you see here. I've got my Helinox Chair Zero, which is a absolute must for me to take on my trips at this point. I love how comfortable and nice that is to be just sitting around camp. I've got one of the essential 1-liter water bottles, and then a second one in the tall pocket on the side of this pack. Those are totally necessary, obviously, to take. And then here on the side as well, I've got fly rod number 1. This is the Redington Classic Trout. This is a 5-weight, 9-foot fly pole or fly rod. So really just kind of like an entry-level type of fly rod. Did not spend a lot of money on this. I also picked up this fly rod recently because it was like, this will be perfect for backpacking when I don't want to do Tenkara style fly fishing. And I took it out onto one of the lakes up in the Uintas just last weekend, and the 7'6" 3-weight that this rod is was not able to get the fly out far enough on the water. So even though this rod tube is heavier, it's bigger, I just decided that it makes sense for me to take the 9-foot rod with the heavier weight line to be able to really get that fly a lot further out there, like 20, 30 feet into the lake is my hope, as opposed to what was a lot more difficult with the 3-weight rod. So this is, again, the Redington Classic Trout 5-weight 9-foot that I'll be taking on this trip. Then the second fly rod that I'm going to take with me is the brand new Tenkara Rodco Beartooth rod. This really is focused on being a super small, lightweight, backpackable Tenkara rod, which Tenkara rods in general are going to be very packable for backpacking. They're super lightweight, under 3 ounces for the rod itself, but you got this really nice neoprene rod sleeve, really cool lightweight rod tube to protect the Tenkara rod that I've got here. So this is the Beartooth. I've got the crossbreed line from Tenkara Rodco on here, which is a pretty standard type of fly line, and then it's got a short furrowed line about 18 inches or so on the end that just makes for a really great presentation with this rod. This is a 10-foot rod that doesn't have any cork on the bottom. It's got like a rubberized feel to it, and this will be the first trip that I take this out because this just barely came out from their Kickstarter. So I'm very excited to be taking the Beartooth out from Tenkara Rodco. Here on the front of the pack, I've got a lot of different things that are just all those standard small item type of backpacking gear items. The first is my satellite device. This is the Zoleo satellite device, and just still really loving this product and everything about it. It's fantastic. So that comes with, and then I've got my little microphone that makes filming videos a lot more better sound quality. And then I've got a small, just kind of a lightweight basic phone mount because I film all of my trail videos with my iPhone, which is here in my back pocket. So I carry my iPhone to be able to do all of my filming of my trips. And then moving down on in here, I've got my Canuck Vecto or Canuck Vecto. This is the 2-liter bag, and it's got the big 42 millimeter, I think that's the right size, for the Katadyn Be-Free filter that I carry with me now. Just always testing different things, and just got it in a small plastic bag because it's a little bit unique from like the Sawyer filter or the Hydro Blue that I've carried in the past, where the hollow fiber membrane is exposed. And so I want to keep it clean if my pack falls over in the dirt, and then I don't have to do unnecessary flushing and stuff of the filter. Down here I've also got my bear line, which is from Light AF. This is the Light AF bear line, but I did replace the carabiner from them with a small full strength carabiner from Metolius. Because of the fly rods and my chair and the water bottles taking up the space in the sides of my pack, I've got my tent poles and my tent stakes for my Sierra Design Studio 2 freestanding tent that I'll be taking with me. You'll see that here in a second, but those are just tucked into this main pocket right there. A new rain jacket that I have not shown you guys yet that I'm testing out. This is a brand new helium rain jacket from Outdoor Research. I've not had a chance to use it in the rain yet because here in Utah, it does not rain that often, and so I don't really get a chance to test rain jackets really heavy. But let's show you guys this chest pack that was actually made by yours truly. But this is my fly fishing chest pack that I'm using for backpacking this year. I'm actually going to be selling these on my Etsy store here in the near future. So I'll show you some close-ups and stuff, but basically you've got a loop for your hemostats. I've got a set of nippers. I've got in this one mesh or lycra pocket here, I've got my floatant for my flies. We've got leader straightener, and then I have 5X and 6X tippet for both my Tenkara rod and for the flies on my regular Western style rod. And that's pretty much it for that. Here on the back of the pack, I've got my fishing license in this small back pocket that I've put there. And then the main pocket, the meat of everything that is inside of here, is some additional leaders for my rods. And then I've got some paillette paste, which is like a line paste for the Tenkara furrowed lines that help them float and such. And I've also got a little baggie of some weight for anything that I want to go deeper into the water for like my nymphs and stuff. So I've got my nymph and just kind of like under the surface fly box, and then I've got my fly box that has all of my dry flies in it, my streamers and stuff that makes sense for the Uinta Mountains. So that is my chest pack with all of my fly fishing gear in it, and really excited about this particular pack. So you'll see a lot more of this, and I'll show you this a little bit more here on the trip that I go on so you can see that. So we're already like 10 minutes into this video and I haven't shown you guys anything on the inside of the pack yet, but I've got a lot of stuff that is gonna make this trip really awesome. So we're gonna go through the rest of this here pretty quick because a lot of this stuff is items that you've already seen. So we got several different little pouches here. I'm gonna unpack all of this for the most part. Now, if you guys wanna see how I actually pack this pack, there is a video that I'll put up in the cards and a link in the description where you can see how I actually pack my pack for this kind of setting. But down in the pack, I've got my fly reel. This is the Redington Behemoth rod. It's the 5.6 rod for being a 5 weight. And so got that. I've got my first aid kit. I've got the Toaks Titanium 550 milliliter pot with a GSI little plastic cup that I'll use as a mug for this trip. Then I've got a toiletry, more of just a kind of random hygiene kind of kit. I've got my backup water treatment, my Aquamira drops, my poop trowel. Don't worry, this is clean. I always clean it actually before I go out on another trip, so when it's in around stuff, in case it did touch anything disgusting, then it's not getting things gross. I've got a bottle of Picard and lotion from Sawyer, and then some wet ones for being able to do my business in the backcountry, which is always a lovely time. Then I've got my food bag here. This is about a 5-liter food bag that just has all of my random stuff in there to feed my body with all the goodness that it needs. Okay, so in this pouch, and I know I've got a lot of different bags here, but this is what I'm doing for this trip. I've got my Trail Designs Caldera Cone stove kit. I decided to leave the plastic screw top thing behind and try this bag out, see how it goes. But I've got the Kojin stove, got a little mini Bic lighter, and then in addition to that, that is kind of part of the cooking system, is my Benchmade mini bug out, but primarily that stays on my person. Then I've got the Caldera Cone itself wrapped in a microfiber towel just to kind of protect it and to not cut things up. But there's the Caldera Cone for the 550 milliliter Toaks, and then the fuel bottle and the little cup for the fuel bottle in this very lightweight Dyneema bag. Here in this bag is just a bunch of random stuff. It's everything from extra clothing to electronics items. So 10,000 milliamp battery pack. My absolute favorite base layer long sleeve that I have found to date. This is the Outdoor Research Echo Hoodie. Man, I love this thing so much. I am going to be married to this long sleeve by the end of the year because I ended up buying 2 more of these, in fact. So really great stuff. I've got my pillow from Sea to Summit. I've got my Blackrock gear beanie. I've got an extra pair of Sax underwear, my Smart Wool thermals, all of this stuff you guys have seen in many loadouts before. Extra pair of socks for sleeping in. Got cord to charge headlamp and lantern. I've got my iPhone cord. I've got my toothbrush and a lantern and a headlamp, Petzl Bindi, Nightcore LR10, just a bunch of random stuff in that particular bag. Then here is the down jacket that I always take with me, and gosh, I freaking love this coat. This is the Arc'teryx Serum LT. Fantastic, fantastic piece of gear. Just, it's yet to let me down, even though it's got a bunch of holes in it. Okay. Then I've got another kind of midweight layer that I have fallen in love with as well. This is also Outdoor Research, the Vigor half zip hoodie. It's got a microgrid type of material around the torso, and then up on the chest, it's more of a Polartec type of fleece, thicker, just really comfortable, very nice, hooded. And then pulling out the next is sleep system stuff. So my Nemo Tensor insulated. This is just the regular 72-inch by 20-inch pad. Oh, man, I love the Tensor. It's good stuff. Okay, let's hurry and get it through this. Sierra Designs Studio 2 tent. Recently picked this up because obviously I have an obsession with Sierra Designs. I'm not going to apologize for it. Just really excited to always be using different gear. And this is about a 3-pound, really great option. Okay. My trusty back panel and extra padding and insulation, all of that. My 1/8-inch foam Tyvek little piece of whatever you want to call it. It's awesome. Does a great job, and it's one of my favorite pieces of gear, honestly. Then the last thing is my quilt that I will be taking with me, the UGQ Outdoor Bandit top quilt. This is a 20-degree quilt that is 850 fill and just a beautiful, beautiful piece of equipment. love this thing so much. So there you go. That is everything that is coming with me on this weekend's backpacking trip that is very much focused on being out fly fishing. It's all standard gear that you've seen in plenty of other videos that I do and talk about very often, but for whatever reason, you guys wanted to see another gear loadout video. And thanks for letting me know that you actually wanted to see one and voting on that community tab post that I made, because otherwise I would have just gone out and not shared it. But hopefully this is valuable in some way or another to any of you watching. I really appreciate you guys watching and being a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, please do subscribe. I would really appreciate that. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and we'll catch you on the next video. See you later.